Hello there. You must be the new paleontologist, the trainee paleontologist, yes? Ah, lovely to meet you. Dr. Grant tells me you have something of great interest to show me. Oh, it's right here. All right, wonderful. Well, let me get my tools. I've come prepared. So you can see here, I have my tools. I've got my chisel for chipping away at things, my brush for just lightly brushing away things from the fossil so we don't damage it. And then here I have my mallet for breaking into hard rocks and things like that. So where exactly was it that you had an area of interest? About here? Ground seems a bit too soft there. What about around here? Anything here? Bit too soft there as well. What about around here? Ooh, hang on a minute. I think, let me just move this stone out the way. Do you know what? I think we may have found something. Let me get my brush. What is this? It seems to have some sort of grooves on it. Do you have any idea of what this could be that you've took scans of? No? Let's have a look. Ooh. Ah, look at that. It is a shell. Wow. Let me get my bigger brush here. Look at that. Now you know what this tells us? That this large desert that we're in once was covered by water. This was probably a vast ocean where we're standing right now. Look at that, beautiful, nice little shell there, but it's not what we're after. I heard that we were looking for a dinosaur here. I'm not sure which type, what species, but let's have a little look around, see if we can find anything else. What about here? Good God. It looks like we've hit something rather hard. In fact, look at that. When I scrape away there, you can see there is a different colour. See the difference in the soil there? Looks like the sediment maybe possibly at the bottom of a lake or river. Wow. In fact, let me get my bigger brush. I don't want to damage anything, so I've got to be very careful. You can see that, do you know what, this could even be a bone itself. Move that rock out the way. I don't want to be too, let's have a look. I don't want to be too, yes. Got to be gentle. This is definitely sediment from the bottom of a river or a lake. Now, I'm just going to chip away slowly at this because I don't want to. If I do hit anything, I don't want to damage it. Let me just brush that out the way. There we go. So how long have you been training to be a paleontologist then? Ah, it's your first year. Ah, how are you finding it? It's pretty fun, isn't it? But it is quite tiresome out here in the hot desert. Today it's very hot. Very, very hot indeed. In fact, I think we might have to get a drink soon. Do you like a drink? Yes? I tell you what, I'll put the kettle on in a bit and we'll have a coffee. I know it might be a bit warm for coffee, but you need something to keep you awake out here. some kind of lake. Oh. Oh. Now what is that? Let's stop. I think we've hit something. Let me get my brush. Now this brush is a bit more coarse than this one. There's definitely something here. This mallet has a bit of a hook here. So when you're using this tool, so you don't have to just use the mallet, you can use this for picking away at things. Oh yes, we've definitely got something here. Oh my. What is this? Ah yes, definitely. Now, it's very important not to get too excited. I know that when you're digging up bones and you find something, it can become very, what's the word? You can, get a bit too excited and lose control and start getting a bit, you might start not being too careful. So you've got to be very, very, keep it in mind that these are, that's definitely bone. Definitely. You've got to keep in mind these things have been around for millions of years, fossilized in the dirt, and if you're not too careful, they may break. So I can tell this is bone. You can see it's a bit more shinier than these rocks here. Ooh. Easy does it. Easy does it. So just from looking at this, it's hard to tell what it might be. But as we continue, I'm sure it will begin to reveal its secrets. It seems to go round. Ooh, in fact it goes deeper. Do you know what? We might have to call Dr. Grant and tell him that we have something of interest here. Wow. Let me chip away this bit here. In fact, let's hit it with a mallet. Ooh, big chunk there coming away. Big chunk. When you're doing a job like this, you must have patience, because if you don't, you'll probably break the fossil, and we certainly don't want that. Now, in this area we tend to find dinosaur bones from the Cretaceous period, so I imagine that this could be an animal that probably lived during those times. Now, what animal it will be still remains to be seen. Just have to keep chipping away to find the answer. Let me just brush all that out. Let's make some space. So it seems to go off this way. Try my best just to brush around it. What animal would you like this to be? A T-Rex? Well, it well could be, you know. Who knows? They are very rare to find tyrannosaur fossils, though. But when you find one, it's a glorious day to find a tyrannosaur skeleton. Still can't tell what this is, but it's definitely something. Definitely something. Let me just get round the ridge here. You can see that it curves around. I wonder what it is. What's that? You're thirsty. Ah, it is thirsty work, isn't it? I tell you what, I will put the kettle on the boil soon and we can have a coffee. Yes. So I'm just trying to dig round the fossil now, just make some space for us to dig. Any ideas? What is that? Still quite hard to tell. Oh, hang on a minute. I think... Is that a foot? Is that a foot that I'm looking at? It sort of looks like a foot, doesn't it? I think that's what it is, you know. I think we're looking at the bone of a theropod foot. Or should I say the bones? They've all stayed together, which is very, very rare. Look at that. You can see 1, 2, 3 toes. Watch this be completely not a foot now after I've guessed that this is a foot. Oh, I think it is though. I think it's a foot we're working with. Well, we'll have to get some plaster in, you know, because when we dig up fossil bones, you need to make sure that they all stay together. And in order to do that, we have to cover them in plastic, in plaster, not plastic, to make sure that they don't get damaged when they're being taken to the lab to be checked on. Yes, this is definitely the foot of some sort of theropod. Now, I know it may be a small fossil, so this could be a juvenile of some sort of dinosaur, or maybe we're looking at just a small dinosaur in general. But yes, look at that. Wow, you can see clearly now what it is. It's definitely 3 toes. I wonder how long this toe goes on for. Let's see. Let's chip away over here. The only problem is when you're chipping away at stuff here, it all falls in to the hole that you're digging. God, this is tiresome work. Let's just keep chipping away, shall we? Let's keep chipping away. Ooh, almost broke the fossil then. You can see that one moving there. So let's try and dig underneath this and see if we can get this to break free. Get our first bone. That definitely looks like a foot, doesn't it? And I would suspect that it goes on quite a while, the other two toes. This one is probably going to be the longest. The middle toe tends to be the longest. Well, it is the longest when it comes to theropods. So we need to dig a bit further for that one. Let's see. It's painstaking work, isn't it? But we are making progress. It's definitely coming here. Oh, I think we are getting this. We're loose. We've got it loose. There we go. So let's see if I can get this last toe to break free, assuming that's what it is. I think it is a toe. You'd think I'd know, wouldn't you? I've been doing this long enough. So if I pull on the back here, you can, yes, there we go. That's loose. Now we've just got to get the rest loose. So let's dig over here. There we go. So I wonder how long this goes on for, this bit here, because this is probably going to be the leg. Let's brush all that out the way. Make some space. Oh, sorry, do apologise, flicking dirt at you. So let's see how far this goes. Let's have a look. What dinosaur do we think this could be? I wonder. I must say I am absolutely parched. I'm going to, I think I'm going to put the kettle on. Would you like a cup of coffee? Yes? Okay. I'll go now. I'll just go and get it on the boil now, because this is very, very thirsty work. There we go. The kettle's on the boil. Let's get back to the business of excavating this fossil. So I definitely think this is a foot. And you can see here, that is definitely the bone of the foot, of the leg, sorry. Now let's try our very best not to break this fossil, because there's nothing more devastating when you're trying to excavate a fossil and it ends up becoming destroyed because you were too rough with it. Oh, oops. Now let's have a look what we've got here. Yes, this is definitely a leg. Tell you what, if it is a tyrannosaur, then Dr. Grant will be very, very pleased, even though his favourite dinosaur is actually a triceratops. But I'm sure he will still be happy. Ah, now, what is that coming off the foot? Either we've got another bone, or this is the third toe of the theropod. Who knows what that is? Let's have a look. Oh, I think that could be another bone, you know. Yes, I think it is. Oh, careful not to break it. Oh, I think I can hear the kettle starting to boil. You know what that means? It's time for a coffee break. And I definitely need one, because it's very hot out here in the desert. Very, very hot. Let's get a few big chunks away there. Let me go and get that coffee on the go. Here we go. Lovely. My God, that's a big cup. I think I'm going to have to put another one on. Yes, yes, please. Please help yourself. I'll put another one on the boil. Right. Let's get down to the business of getting this leg out. How's the coffee? Is it nice? We only have the finest coffee in the business here, you know, because we want our archaeologists to be, archaeologists, what am I like? We want our paleontologists to be very energized when they're when they are digging up their fossils. So we've got to make sure that they are, you know, hydrated and treated to the best coffee that there is. Now it appears we have found another bone here. That is definitely a different bone. So I'm going to start chipping away over here, because I don't know what that is, you know. I don't know what it could be. Let's have a look. It looks like it could be some vertebrae, because when animals die, when they've been trapped in the ground, their bodies move about, maybe from, you know, they've been carried down a river or something like that, so the bones may not be all together in a full skeleton. They might actually be scattered about. And that seems to be what's happened here. But that whole foot is together, which is very rare. but we've got to try and see what this bit is. I think we're looking at some sort of vertebrae. Yes, you can see the bumps here and the grooves. Let's try and get... Ah, wow, there we go. So, you may be wondering why Dr. Grant has sent me instead of just coming himself. Well, he's away at the moment. He's very busy. Ever since that old man came along, you know, the guy that was in the white with the hat on. Yes, he just, you know, helped himself, walked into their caravan, even opened the bottle of wine, I heard. But ever since he came round, they've gone off somewhere. I don't know where they've gone. Somewhere, I've heard it's like an island, somewhere off the coast of Costa Rica. So I don't know what he's doing there. No one's really said anything. That's all I've heard. So I don't know when he'll be back. Apparently it's only for a weekend, so we'll see. But it's up to us to just continue to keep digging up these fossils. So we've got to make sure that everything's running smoothly. I'm sure he'll be very excited when he gets back to hear that we found a Tyrannosaur skeleton. Well, I believe this is a Tyrannosaur skeleton, especially with these 3 toes here. But yes, I'm sure he'll be thrilled when he comes back. It's not bad, is it? Going away, you know, Costa Rica for a nice little holiday. Lovely. Just got to be extra careful here. So you can see here, this is definitely a vertebrae. You can see those sections there. So I've got to try and get underneath without damaging it. So I've got to be ever so careful. Try and dig underneath the vertebrae. There we go. Ooh. It sounds like the coffee is on the boil. So that means I can have a cup with you now. Just work on this section here. There we go. Lovely. Wow, it's going down deeper than I thought it would. Ah. Ooh, it looks like we have, I don't know if you can see it from that angle, but it looks like we have ribs attached to the vertebrae. Wow, this is very, very rare. How wonderful. Right, let me get that coffee off the boil. Lovely. Ah, marvellous. Oh, lovely. You need to keep yourself hydrated out here, and you definitely need to keep yourself well fueled when you're digging out in the desert. So let's see if we can get this bone out. I feel like we need to make some space over here to really get that vertebrae moving. Let's get this big brush in. These big chunks here, let's move those out of the way. So, let's see if we can get this section out. It looks like it goes even further over here. is a tyrannosaur. What do you think? Should we phone him, or should we keep it as a surprise when he comes back? What's that? What? You've heard rumours of where he's gone. Right, well, where's he gone then? What do you think it is that he's what have you heard? Tell me. He's going to a dinosaur park. What do you mean, a dinosaur park? What? What, like a theme park? No, surely not. No, it's probably like they're making a reconstruction of something. Oh, he's heavily invested in this dig site, has he? Oh, it's interesting. Wonder what he wants. I don't know. We'll have to ask him when he gets back. See what all the fuss was about. Imagine that though, just letting yourself in to their caravan and just opening the bottle of wine. It's very cheeky, isn't it? I'm going to try and... Oh my goodness, got to be very careful there. I don't want to damage this. Oh my God, I'm being so rough. I do apologise. I really want to try and get this foot out. But I think it goes deeper. I think the leg goes a lot deeper. Just chip away at this side here. And one way to tell if you've hit bone or not is the soil is very rough and the bone is very smooth. Yes. Don't know if you've been told that before, but that is one way to tell if you are, touching a rock, or if you're touching bone. Looks like we have a little bit of a saw here. Let's try and cut through. It's not quite working as I would have hoped. We seem to have another bone over here. Oops, dropping my brush, making a mess. Let's see what this is. This seems to be something else. God, we're getting a lot of bones here. This looks like a proper bone pit. There we go. Lovely. So how many dig sites have you been on so far? You've only been on a few then. I see. And what animals have you dug up so far? What dinosaurs have you found? You found a triceratops, that's very good. Wow. Well, you might be finding the animal that hunted on them today, by the looks of it. This could be, it's definitely a theropod. It's got to be with those 3 toes. It's just got to be. I wonder what this could be. I can't really tell at the moment what this is. It just seems to be some kind of just some bones sticking out. It's hard to tell what it could be. I don't know. Oh, we can get one bone out, that would help massively. It does take a long time, it takes a lot of patience. And if I can just take this big chunk out of the way here, we can get at it. Ooh, looks like we've hit something else. What is that? Another bone. My goodness. We're coming across lots. So we've got this foot bone, we have this bone here, well, this vertebrae. Then we have something else here. Then we've got another bone here. So we've got 4 bones, it looks like, at the moment. Oh. So it seems this is just one patch of ground that seems harder than the rest. This could have been some kind of tar pit or quicksand or something like that. In fact, you find this with many animals back in prehistoric times. You find that animals would go to a watering hole to drink, possibly get trapped in quicksand, sand that has a lot of moisture in it, and these animals weighed an absolute ton. So when they stood on it, they fell straight through. And what happened, as one animal got stuck, predators would then come to feed off that carcass. And when they fed off it, they got stuck themselves and became, you know, there was another carcass there then rotting away, which would attract more predators. And as more predators came to feed off them, they would get stuck. And it just went on and on and on, where animals were just getting stuck in these, you know, these quicksand pits. Now this looks like another vertebrae here. I wonder if this could be part of the tail, I wonder. But yes, you do see some things like that with Allosauruses. I don't know if you've watched Walking with Dinosaurs or Big Al. If you ever watched that show you see in it a load of Allosauruses that have got trapped. They've all gone to feed off the carcass. I think it's a Stegosaurus there feeding off. And that Stegosaurus has sunk into the ground, and there are loads of Allosauruses that are trying to feed off this Stegosaurus carcass. And as they're dying themselves, they're attracting more predators into the area. So it's something that you definitely, if you're a predator, want to stay clear of, because you don't want to sink into the soil, into the sand, and, you know, not get out. It's very, very dangerous. That's what possibly could have happened here, I wonder, because the ground looks very compact, as if it's some kind of sediment that's solidified over a long time. So we're just taking chunk by chunk out. Yes, this is definitely vertebrae. It could possibly be, I think, the tail of some sort of animal. Got to be ever so careful not to damage the bone. So we just dig round those vertebrae and just try and get underneath it with this one. It's very good, this, for hooking underneath bones. Oh my goodness, have we hit something else? Oh, I don't know. I'm not too sure. I think we've made a big hole. Maybe there's a a cave underneath here or something. I think we're through. Yes. I think we may be coming close to getting our first bone out. Got plenty of them now. It's just actually getting one loose. Once one's loose, the rest will follow. So if we can try and get this one out here, this big vertebrae. Seems to be something. Oh, is this another bone? Not sure. And you know, sometimes when dinosaurs fossilize, if you're very lucky, you don't just get bones. Sometimes you can actually get mummified dinosaurs if the conditions are just right. You get fossilized skin. Oops. God, I've got to be careful. I'm getting a bit too heavy-handed here. We definitely don't want to damage any bones, so I've got to be very careful. But yes, some dinosaurs sometimes, oh, that is coming loose. You can see it there now. I think it just goes on a bit further over here. So if we loosen down here, we should be able to get this bit out. But yes, sometimes they do leave fossilized skin prints left in stone, which is absolutely remarkable. That you could be looking at the skin of an animal that has long been gone for millions of years, just left in stone. Absolutely remarkable. Let's brush all that out of the way. Lovely. Look at that. Well, we've definitely found something. You were definitely right to give a shout out and say you found something of interest. You definitely have, because this is very, very interesting. Ooh. If I can try and dig underneath it and get it loose. Don't be getting tired. Know that it's very hot, but you must stay focused on the task at hand. And I hope you're making notes in your journal. You have been? Okay. Because I've got my journal here. You can see that we've been making a few notes. Ah, here we are. So, as you can see, this is some of the things that we've been working on. So, we found a T-Rex skull not far from here, so it wouldn't be a surprise to see one here. And you can see it had a large fracture. These are just some sketches that I've made. A large fracture of the lower jawbone. Oh, and yes, and this is a raptor claw that we found nearby, so you know, but the foot here doesn't look like it's got, the toe doesn't curve up like a velociraptor. Or should I say a raptor in general. There won't be any velociraptors around here. Oh, and they're just some notes. Yes, we need to, we must order some new brushes because we're running out of these. And some more plaster to actually cover the bones in. And some more coffee, of course, because we're drinking it like crazy. So what I'll do is when we get the first bone out, we'll make some notes of the first actual bone. I don't want to put down notes yet. I'd rather get the first specimen out and then work from there on what we've actually got. This is coming loose now. You can see it's almost there, but the foot here is in the way a little bit. So I'm struggling to find where it actually ends. I think it goes way on down here, I think. Is that still part of the same bone? I'm not sure. There's so much dust. And there we go. Yes, I think it does. So you've been keeping up to date with your journal, your vlogging journal. Yes, that's right, good. Because you must keep documentations of everything you find. Because if something does become damaged, you definitely want to have some sketches and some, documentation of what you found. Some fossils have been damaged and we've never recovered them. For instance, one individual, you will definitely have heard of this dinosaur, the Spinosaurus. Now, the Spinosaur fossil that was found, I don't think it was a complete skeleton, but I think it was one of the best we've had, and it was destroyed in Germany during World War II. A bomb blew up part of the museum, destroyed the fossil forever, and all we have are some notes of the paleontologist that actually dug it up and made some sketches. That's all we've got. We found a few more specimens of Spinosaurus, but nothing, it's all fragmented. Nothing like this. We get loads of bones together. And that's perhaps why Spinosaurus is always changing shape and form, because we keep finding new things about it that keep changing our perspective of this animal. The next thing they'll be saying it's got wings and it can fly. It was actually a dragon. Never mind. Get rid of that stone out there. Oh. Now this tail is very long, isn't it? Very, very long indeed. It's definitely getting there, but it's still... Ooh! Got to be careful. We don't want to damage it. We don't want to damage the specimen. So I'm going to dig a bit further. Just keep... Oh, what's this now? We've come across another bone. Oh my goodness. Wow, just when you thought that... Oh my god, this looks like a very big bone. This looks like a very... Oh, wow. Got to be very, very careful. Just chip away slowly. What do you think this bone is? That is a very big bone. Oh, I thought that was a bone then. It's a rock. Got these fragments all over the place. It's all over the place. Can we get this out yet? Oh, not yet. It's getting there, but it's not quite there yet. So we have to be very patient. I know. I thought we would have had a bone out by now, but we've got to be ever so careful and just try and keep ourselves, keep ourselves under control, not let the excitement get to us. I think this goes underneath this bone here, so we really need to work on this one. Let's try and saw this bit away. Not really working, that tool, is it? I think the best one is the chisel for chipping things away. Let's see if we can... This is a very large bone. Very, very large. Look at that. It keeps going. Oh my goodness, what is this? Oh, I don't think this is a bone at all. I think it's something else. What could this be? Some kind of don't know. Maybe this is a rare gem or something. I'm not too sure. We're making a very big mess here, aren't we? If we get this big chunk out though, I do think this should really be a game changer. It'll make a big dent into the sediment. We should be able to start getting some things out. Mustn't be afraid to get your hands dirty in this job. There we go. I think we've got... Ooh, wow, that was a big chunk that came off there. Oh dear. Oh dear. So you can see it. Oh. What is that? Can you see that? Oh my goodness. You must be careful with this. What is this? This looks... Oh, it's loose. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Now, do you know what this is? Don't be fooled, because it's not real gold. Did you think you were rich then for a moment? Well, unfortunately, this is actually fool's gold. Look at that. Wow. Beautiful. So, we found a shell, some fool's gold, but we have yet to find some dinosaur. Well, we found dinosaur bones, but we haven't yet got the dinosaur bones out. Let's just move all this dust out of the way. A lot of debris here. Wow, what a find. That's fantastic. So we found some fool's gold. It'd be great if it was real. That would have been worth a lot of money. Obviously, you know, we would have given it to InGen for research purposes, of course, because they are investing in this. They're investing a lot of money in this. I don't know why they're investing so much. I don't know what they expect to get from it, but yes, they've spent millions of pounds trying to, you know, they've invested millions of pounds in getting people to dig up dinosaur bones, and I wonder what they're up to. I don't know why you'd be spending so much money. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great, you know, it puts us in a job, but I don't know why they're doing it. So this seems to go quite deep down. Is that another bone? Goodness me, we might have a full skeleton at this rate. And that is very rare. Very, very rare indeed. When people are digging up dinosaur bones, it's very rare that you'll find the full skeleton. In fact, I don't think there's ever been a complete skeleton, because there's always something like the tip of a tail or a tooth missing. So a full skeleton is very, very rare indeed, especially when it comes to tyrannosaurs and stuff like that. Of course, we have the largest skeleton, which is Sue of Tyrannosaurus Rex. Oh no, sorry, she used to be, but actually Scotty is now even bigger. But yes, what they do is when they find these animals, they when they'll make a cast skeleton of them to put in a museum, they will use other skeletons to fill in the gaps. So for instance, if you found an animal that's missing, you know, let's say a lot of ribs or parts of the tail, parts of the leg, you can fill in the gaps by guessing what it would look like by looking at the other animals that you found. Ooh, let me take this big chunk off here. There we go. Well, we're making progress now. There we go. Just want to get this big chunk out. We can make some space. Let's see if I can get my... No, I can't. Need to get underneath it, but I'm not sure how deep. Oh, there we have it. That section has come out nicely. Don't know what that is at all. Looks like some kind of rare mineral. But we have made space. Oh, don't tell me this is another bone. Oh my goodness, it is. Right, let me just brush up. I want to get this tail out. Once I've got this tail out, we can really start to make some progress here. Okay. So, is this the tail? I can't tell. What is this? There's bones all over the place. It's hard to tell what's going on. Still not ready to go. Something here. A big bone. Ooh, looks like some more vertebrae. I can't tell what this is yet. Strange. Let's just try and chip this way over here. Another bone. My goodness, we're full of bones. So we seem to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bones at the moment. That's the way it's looking anyway. We might have to change strategy here. We might have to start chipping away at this bone here instead. Oh, but this is the one with the ribs, isn't it? Oh, that's going to take a while. This one would be easier. If we can get this one out, but it goes underneath something here. Something there, I can't tell what that is. And then we have something else. This looks like a big flat bone. Oh my, what is that? That, my friend, looks like claws. I think this could be the arms of the animal. Oh my goodness. I think we found an arm bone. Yes, we have. I do believe so anyway. Move all this out of the way here so you can see. There we go. Now, let's see if we can get this one out. This one looks like a smaller bone, but I've got to be ever so careful because the arm bones are quite small, and that indicates to me this has got to be, he's got, oh, did you see that? Just fell out. Look at that. There we have our first bone. Who would have thought that it was going to be an arm bone? So you can see there the 2 claws, the front of the arm, then the joint, and then where it attaches here. So there is our first bone, everybody. Now let's put that to the side. Look at that, very small, and that's indicating to me this must be a Tyrannosaurus juvenile. So let me just get my journal out. So we will say that we've found a arm bone. So first bone found. We'll put arm bone. So we've got our first arm bone there. Put that to the side. So we've got our arm bone there. Now the tail seems to go underneath this big bone here. I'm not sure if that is a femur. It looks like a big femur bone. But then again, ooh, got to be careful. We don't want to snap anything or break anything. This is becoming very, oh, another bone. Good Lord. This is turning into a fantastic find, I must say. Absolutely glorious. The sediment changes here. It seems to go into a different sort of this grainy sand material. Ooh. Got to be careful not to damage anything. Right, let's brush some of this out of the way. We're making some piles of dirt here, some big piles. What's that? What? You want another coffee? Have you drank that one already? Flipping heck. Well, let's just try and get a bone out first before we go on to that. Well, we've got one bone out, I know, but oh, wow. And just as I say it, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Now, we all know what that is, don't we? That classic shape of the skull. This is definitely a Tyrannosaurus. A Tyrannosaur juvenile. Wow. But it's only part of the skull. It's fragmented here. Wow, what a beauty. Let me write that in the book. So we have a juvenile skull. So the second bone found was a skull. So a skull, but it's only part of the skull. It's only one side. So I'll put in brackets there, one side. Lovely. Okay, so got to keep all this documented. Now let's give that a little clean up, that skull there. Look at that there. What a beautiful specimen. Got to be ever so delicate because we don't want to damage it. Look at that. Wonderful. So you can clearly see that's definitely the skull of a tyrannosaur. So we'll put that over there with our arm. Now, it looks like we may be able to get this tail out, but it's blocked by this here. Oh, I didn't even notice this. This looks like ribs. Ah, okay. So we have some ribs here, along with, this looks like a giant thigh bone, I think. Not a thigh bone, a femur. So I think, oh, it goes on even more. Wow. Got to be very careful with the ribs though. The ribs are very, very delicate, so you don't want to damage them. They are definitely ribs. Wow. So who would have thought it, that we'd find a Tyrannosaur out here? We'll have to let Grant know. Grant will be very, very pleased. And Dr. Sattler will be very pleased as well, I imagine. Wonderful. And that explains why we found maybe a lot of Triceratops bones around here. Grant's favourite dinosaur. Because Triceratops were one of Tyrannosaur's most favourite foods. So maybe there is an adult around here somewhere for Tyrannosaur, and this was one of her babies. I wonder what caused this animal to die. Maybe we'll find out as we continue to unearth this crime scene. So you can see that that's the vertebrae. Here's the ribs, and then we have this big fat flat bone here. And that bone is basically where muscles would attach from the tail and to the leg as well. And that is coming on lovely. Look at that. Ah, beautiful. And it looks like we have a bit more coming off this bone. It's beautifully preserved, I must say. Absolutely magnificent. Look at that. Wonderful. This is a very big set of bone here. And it looks like it goes on a bit further. Is there a bit more of the rib there? I think there is. Let's try and get rid of this big chunk of sediment. I'm just hoping there's no other bones in the way. I don't want to damage any. I don't think Grant would be happy if he came back and we said that we'd damaged one of the bones. Yeah, so you can see that there is oh, I think, in fact, let me get rid of this big chunk here. If I just cut round, there we go. That's a big chunk out of the way. Now this looks all connected as well. Just have a sip of my coffee. Ah, that's better. It is thirsty work doing this, digging up bones. It's rather hard work at times out here in the hot desert. Do you know what? I wonder if this will come loose. Oh, I don't want to snap. Oh, there we go. Wow, look at that. The tailbone has come loose. Look at that glorious, glorious tail there. Marvellous. Beautiful. So we have our skull, our tail and our arm now. So we're getting there now. We're getting somewhere. Let's just put down some notes of the third bone we found. So let me just put that in. Must keep records of everything we find. So the third bone is the tailbone. Wonderful. I must say it's very rare for all the vertebrae to be together like that. Very rare. So what have we got left here? Well, we've got this bone here with the ribs and the femur bone here, and there seems to be something sticking out here as well. And I don't know what that is. I didn't see that before. So we have something sticking out. Wow. And it's amazing. I thought the first thing we would have dug out would have been the foot, seeing as that's the first bone we came across. But it appears sometimes the first bone you find is not the first bone you uncover. Sometimes the first bone you find can be the most difficult to get out. Now, what is this? I can't tell what that is at all at the moment. It seems to... I don't know. I'm not sure at all what it could be. Is it another arm bone? Let's have a look what you are. Let's try and dig underneath it. I'm not sure what this is. I'll tell you another thing you've got to be very wary of in the desert. When digging things up, you might disturb some animals. There's plenty of... Oh, that was a big chunk that broke away there. Flipping heck. Yes, there are some animals that burrow in the ground in the desert. Maybe some bugs or reptiles. You don't want to disturb any snakes because you could get bit. Some of them are poisonous out here. So you definitely don't want to bump into any of those. You've got to be just very, very wary where you're putting your hands, where you are. You know, you don't want to get bit. What is this? I can't tell what it is. Very, very strange. Let's see where this leads us. Any ideas? No? It's very, very strange. Move this big chunk of rock out the way there. This could be multiple bones, you know. I think it is. I think we've got a few different bones in place here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is 5, or maybe this could be multiple ones. I don't know. We've got a lot of bones here to decide what they are. Got to be very careful with this chisel. You definitely don't want to damage the bones or damage your hand as well. Oh, we've got another bone here. Look at that. Another one here somewhere. So I don't know if these are connected or if they're all separate. So let's just keep chipping away at this and see where it takes us. Now, I'm thinking, when we look at this fossil, I'm assuming this is the same animal. I wonder why the bones are all scattered all over the place. I'm thinking if maybe this animal was killed, or maybe, I don't know, some kind of flood. Oh, I've just realised what that is. That is the arm bone, isn't it? Yes, it is. It is an arm bone. You can see there the 2 claws. Oops. And the arm. Flipping heck. Better be careful with that. We don't want to damage the arm bone. And the arms of a tyrannosaur, when fully grown, would have been about the same size as ours. So they're quite big, but for their body size, they're very, very small. Very, very small. And that is because Tyrannosaurus's main weapon is its bite. So all of its power, and as it's evolved, has gone into, creating a powerful bite rather than, powerful, strong arms to kill its prey. So a Tyrannosaur, if it had big arms, it would topple over on its front, because any extra weight would make that animal fall over. That's why Tyrannosaur has these huge holes in the skull. You can see there on the skull here we found they have this one large one here, a little one here, and then where the eye socket is, and then even at the back here, the head. And those holes are called windows. Oh, the arm has just come out. Flipping heck. Thought we broke it then. So we've got our second arm. Wonderful. Let's put that in the book. So yes, those holes keep the head from being too heavy. Imagine if it was solid bone. It would be very, very heavy indeed. So what have we got? We've got our 4th bone is the arm bone. Wonderful. So we've got 4 bones now. 4 bones out. And I'm trying to figure out what this is. I can't quite tell. It's hard to... It looks like toes, doesn't it? This could be another foot, I think, This could be another foot. Ooh. I think it is, And I think this looks like more vertebrae. Well, we are definitely making progress. We're definitely getting somewhere. 4 bones. Oh. Oh my. Oh. And it's come out. Oh my goodness. What is this? I don't even know what that is. It's definitely some kind of vertebrae. Wow. If you heard some water there in the background, that is someone washing fossils, because after we've dug all these up, we will have to give them a good wash and make sure that they are... In fact, you know what, I'm going to have to put down 5th bone unknown. See how they're all coming now at once? They're all coming in. So 5th bone unknown, question mark. Not sure what that is. I think it's some kind of vertebrae. Not sure. Okay, so what have we got? So we've got, I think these are 2 feet. We've got the vertebrae, the rib cage and the vertebrae here. And then this looks like a vertebrae as well, with, I'm sure there's some ribs under here as well. Yes, there is. So let's see if we can excavate this. Ooh, got bits flicking at me in the face there, bits of rock. Let's see if we can get this leg out, because this leg seems to be all on its own over here. Ooh. Okay, so let's have a look. Yes, this is definitely a foot, and it looks like it's bent. I why it's like that. So that when the animal died, it must have been bending its leg, maybe trying to run away or something. We need to chip away this big bit. Oh. Step back, everyone. That just fell out. Look at that. Marvellous. Now, what I've got to be careful with here is I've got to be careful not to damage the bone. Look at this. Oh, and it's just fell away. Look at that. That is definitely a foot and a leg bone. Marvellous. Give it a bit of a clean. You can see there where it's bent, and those are the toes. Wow. So our sixth bone is now, do you know what, I might as well keep this open now because we're going back and two so quickly. Right, putting these bones in. Sixth bone is leg and foot. Foot bone. Wonderful. Okay, so I'll just leave that book over there with you. Okay, right, so let's see. We've uncovered something else as well here. And I don't know what this is, but it's something else. Big lump of bone there. Very big lump of bone. Let me get my chisel. Now, what could this be? Oops. Got to be very careful not to damage anything. Now that looks like teeth. See those teeth there? Got to be careful you don't scrape your finger along those. That looks like the lower jawbone. Ooh, easy does it. There we are. Yes, look at that. Absolutely marvellous. The lower jawbone. You've got to be very careful. Just because you got it out doesn't mean you can't damage it. You've got to be careful that you don't break the fossil. Because if it breaks and you damage it, well, all that work was for nothing. So we've got to make sure that's it. Now look at that. You can see clear as day that those go together for chomping on prey. Now this individual is a very small animal, and I imagine that these juveniles will be eating things like insects and probably, you know, small creatures, maybe some meat that the mother brought home. I'll just move that leg bone over there. So seventh bone, lower jawbone. Beautiful. And it's fully intact as well. Let me put that in there to keep my space where I'm writing it out. Lovely. Okay, so let's give this all a big clean. I thought that was a bone then, just a rock. So we've got quite a few bones out now. 7 bones. Give all this a good clean up. Marvellous. Okay. So what bone should we work on next? I'm thinking this one here. This one looks like a big section. And I don't think we can really get to the others yet until we get this one out, because this one seems to go over the top. And I think this one's going to go somewhere deep. So let's see if we can get this one out. Oh, lots of debris coming out here. mad to think that an animal can start so small and end up so big. And it would take around 20 years for a tyrannosaur chick to grow into a full adult. So 20 years to grow that large. Now, you might think 20 years is a long time, but when you think of 20 years to grow that big, that's pretty impressive. Ooh, careful now, careful. You don't want to destroy the bone. So yes, a 20-year adult would be fully grown. And once it has reached adulthood, it would only live to about 30 years of age, Tyrannosaurus rex. And that is because T-Rex lived a very dangerous life. It was facing very dangerous animals like Triceratops. You know, if it got attacked by one of Triceratops' horns, if it got hit by one of them, you know, T-Rex would definitely know about it. Okay, so we're getting somewhere now. I think the next bone or set of bones we should go for is this one here, because I think this set of ribs go underneath this big flat bone here. So I'm going to start picking away underneath here. Got to be very careful because these bones are very thin, these two here, so I don't want to break these ones. So I've got to be ever so careful not to damage them, because I know our investors will not be pleased if we do, especially these ribs as well. Got to be very careful with the ribs. And most of these ribs, especially tyrannosaurs, probably are broken when they died. The amount of fights they've been in, maybe not this juvenile, but the adults especially would get into very large fights with other animals, other tyrannosaurs, fighting over territory. And I know that, I think it was Sue that actually had a few broken ribs, I believe, and also damage on her leg. I think she broke one of the bones in her legs, and it actually managed to heal. So Tyrannosaurus did live a very dangerous life indeed. Now you can see those ribs coming now. If I just take off this big chunk here, we might be able to. Ooh, you can see the ground is a bit softer here. I want to try and get this big chunk of sediment away. See if I can just move it with my hand. It's still, ooh, it did come away. Hopefully we didn't be too rough and break any ribs. Oh, there we go. You can see that set of ribs there. Ooh. Oh, look at that. And it just comes out. Wow. Let's give that a bit of a clean up. Beautiful. And it looks like all the ribs are intact. Marvellous. Beautiful. Look at that. Wonderful. So let's make a note in our book. This 8th bone now we're on. The 8th set of bones. Rib cage. And what else? I think we'll just put, in fact, it's the vertebra as well. We'll slash vertebra. Fantastic. We're making some progress now. Wonderful. So you can see here where this section's going to go with the tail. Wonderful. We'll put that over there. So, what have we got left? We've got this leg, and we've got this rib cage here. So, isn't it funny? The one thing we came to first was this foot, and it looks like it's going to be one of the last bones we get out. Ooh, that was a big chunk that went away there. Let's move that out of the way. It's the perfect size, this, for going in between the ribs. It's not causing any damage. Wonderful. In fact, I think I might be able to split these two in half. Wow. Look at all that there. All the rest of the vertebrae there. Beautiful. So, what I've got to do is, there we go, marvellous. Beautiful. It is coming together, but you mustn't get ahead of yourself. You must take your time, because if you do cause any damage, you'll be kicking yourself later. So you've got to be very, very patient. Oh, there's another big chunk gone. Ah, yes. Wonderful. Oh, look at that. Marvellous. We've got another set out. Beautiful. And you can see how they're going to go together. Beautiful. We'll put these pieces together at the end, just to give that a clean. Beautiful. So, put in our notes. So the 9th is the full set. Rib cage and vertebra. Wonderful. Marvellous. So, look at that, the marks that it's left in the rock. So I think, what are we missing now? I think we're missing part of the skull, which I think, oh no, I think that's just the leg. So we're missing the other half of the skull. I do hope we find that. Like I said before, finding a full fossil is very rare. And for it to be the skull of all things to be missing, that would be very disappointing. This leg is going to come, it's going to come loose in a minute. We're very close. Just scrape away this area here. Oh, is that another bone? I think that might be, I'm hoping it will be, the skull underneath. Got to be very gentle. We don't want to cause any damage. Oh, did you see how that just fell away there? Marvellous. That is definitely a theropod foot. Wonderful. Absolutely beautiful. Write that down. this must be here. Ah, yes, you can see the teeth. See the teeth there? Marvellous. Not missing anything else, are we? Don't think so. Must just be this. That is our last section. And I do want to be careful with this because the head, those windows that I was talking about before, very delicate. Oh, yes, and there we have it. Wow, let's just scrape. Ah, lovely. Give that a clean. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Marvellous. Second skull, second side of the skull has been found. So I think we have a complete skeleton. Now, what I want to do now is just make sure we're not missing anything, because the last thing I would want is to leave any other fossils, maybe that maybe there's a few dinosaurs here, or I'm not sure. Let's see. I think we've pretty much got every... Oh, hang on a minute. What is this? Hang on a minute. It's not a dinosaur, but it is in fact a crystal. Look at that. Wow. And this looks like amethyst to me. Wow, fantastic. Let's see if there's any more. So this is a type of gem that... Oh, we've got another. Fantastic. This is a type of crystal that when it's under pressure in the ground, it squeezes the particles together, the minerals in the soil, to form different crystals such as this. Wow, so we've not only found a dinosaur skeleton, we found some amethyst, we found some fool's gold, and also a shell. So we found plenty on this dig. Fantastic. So the last thing to do now is to put our fossil together and of course wash our tools. Write this down: a good paleontologist always cleans his tools afterwards. So we'll get ourselves a bowl of water and give everything a good clean. I've got our bowl of water here. You may notice I've not filled it all the way to the top, and this is because we're out in the desert and I don't want to waste water, so I've only filled it up a little bit. So we'll begin by washing our tools. We'll get the boring bit out of the way. And remember, a good paleontologist always washes his tools, because when you come to use them again, you must make sure that they're nice and clean. So there we go. Put that over there. Clean our chisel. Lovely. And our little pickaxe. course we need to give those a dry with some roll. Wonderful. Always dry your brushes. So how did you find that today then? Did you enjoy it? You're very lucky to come across a baby Tyrannosaurus skeleton so early in your training as well. Very, very well. Marvellous. So our tools are all nice and clean now. Put those to the side. And now we can get on with the business of, in fact, let's wash the crystals first. Look at that. Beautiful. Wash the fool's gold as well. It nearly fooled me for a second, but no gold today. And we'll wash the shell as well. Marvellous. And just give those a dry. Maybe they'll go on display at a museum somewhere. I know this definitely will. So let's start off with the arms. I think that was the first thing we found, wasn't it? Well, the first thing we got out, I think. Give them a nice clean, get all the rock off them. Lovely. And we'll now get the legs. Marvellous. And you want to be very delicate with them now as well. Just because you've got the bones out does not mean that you won't cause any damage. So you've got to make sure that you're ever so careful with them because they are fossils. Okay, let's go for this rib cage. Lovely. Get all the rock, dirt and grit off the bones. Wonderful. Absolutely marvellous. I think, is that rock in there? It is. We might still need our tools actually, because we want to make sure that we can fit these bones together, don't we? So we've got to make sure. This might be a job for the brush. Trying to get rid of this piece here. It's proving rather difficult. Oh, there we go. There it is. It's out. Okay, let's get on the next one. Ah, straight out. Wonderful. That's it. Do want to give it a thorough clean. And that section there as well. I bet you're ready for a long night's rest after this build, aren't you? Because it has took a rather long time in the desert. Very hot, hard to stay focused and concentrate. So I bet you're absolutely shattered now, ready for a long night's rest. That tail looks absolutely spot on. I don't think it even needed a clean. And let's give the lower jaw a nice clean. Wonderful. And let's wash the skull. Just imagine this creature when it was fully grown. A tiny skull this big would be able to fit yourself inside it. Pretty intense. Wow. Imagine there was a baby. It would be quite cute. So there we are. Let's give that a dry. Let's give those bones a dry. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, to put the bones together. We must be very careful to put them on the right way. Back in the day, many paleontologists put the bones on in the wrong places. So I think there was one dinosaur, they put the head on the tail. But we've come a long way since then. We've learned a lot about dinosaurs now. And goodness knows what we'll learn many years into the future. So there's the washing up all done. Let's get down to the business of, oops, bit of splash there. Let's get on with the business of putting the bones together. Rightio, so here are all the bones that you and I have found. So let's start off with the rib cage and the vertebrae. So I'm going to put the tail through here, and then we will click these together. They should just slot into place. There we go. Marvellous. So we've got the body is in place now. There we go. That's looking pretty good already, isn't it? So let's put the legs on. So you can see this leg goes on this side. Oops, I'm clicking everything else out. Okay, so there's one leg. Let's get this other leg in. Oh no, maybe it's from the other side. Oh no, it's that way. I thought it. I was getting mixed up then. That leg goes there. Look at that, so it's running. It's got one leg like this, one leg running there. Lovely. So let's put the arms in. So this arm goes here. Marvellous. Slot that into place. Got to be very gentle but firm at the same time, because you want to put them into place. Oops, goodness me. Just as I say that, I get a bit too heavy-handed. There we go. That should slot in there. It should do anyway. Let me try. There we go. Goodness me, that's hard to go in. There we are. some of the bones may be deformed because of, this animal is millions of years old and has been trapped in the dirt. So you can understand why it might not be completely the shape it was when it died. Oh, that arm's just fell out. Let's focus on the head. So the head is in place. There we go. Now let's get the jaw in, the jawbone. Oh, be careful not to. Oh, his head's come off. Well, his jaw's in place. And now I've just got to get his. There we go. Lovely. So the head is in place, and now I've just got to put this arm back in. But I'm a bit confused where this bit goes, actually. Where does that go? Oh, that's meant to go inside there, isn't it? I think. I do believe so, yes, I think that's where that's meant to go. I think that's meant to slot in there. We'll have to take the rib cage apart again. Let me take the head off. I've got the head done. Let's just take that apart. So I think this is supposed to, yes, that's where that's supposed to go. Inside here. The lower vertebrae. The spinal column. I was wondering where that bit was going to go. Oh no, the tail's come off. And we need that tail actually to go in first. Let's take that off. So the tail needs to go in here and then connect there. There we go. That's better. Could do with a bit of glue, I think. Let's pop that head back on. Marvellous. And the last arm, the arm that is refusing to go in. It's definitely on the right side, isn't it? Might have to use my mallet. Smash it in. Sake, go in. Come on. There we go. That'll have to do, I think, if I push it anymore. So there we have it. Our baby Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, what should we name this dinosaur? I don't mean name the species, but what should we name him or her? It's hard to tell from the fossils. I think it's only appropriate to name it after you, seeing as you were the one who found this fossil in the first place. So I think we should name it after you. We could put this in a museum somewhere for everyone to enjoy. Look at that. Marvellous. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to dig up a dinosaur, click the link in the description to see the different fossils that you could excavate. Thank you for joining us on this dig. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below of what you'd like to see us dig up next. Would you like to see more dinosaur content? Click the video on screen now. You won't regret it. I guarantee it.